we've just seen, the troops call minor aggro. Perhaps the most sobering thing about Belfast are these wild mobs of hostile youth and the prospect they offer of destructive anarchy in the future. But peace is broken not just by confrontations with youthful mobs and the emotional outbursts which followed Londonderry. The biggest single death toll in Northern Ireland so far was taken here, when an IRA bomb exploded in McGurk's Bar, a Catholic pub, killing 16. The long memory for past events and hatreds in Ireland presumably must include this too. In the new lodge, the Army's military task has had much success. But with or without the IRA, Catholic hostility to the government and army remains. And as the army has mounting success against the IRA, the political problems are mounting too. It's in the heartland of the Catholic areas of Belfast that the army faces its stiffest job, where the IRA is still entrenched.
That a lot of the explosives move into the Belfast area. The estate itself is just over the other side of the motorway, and I think the thing that would strike any visitor to the area most significantly about it is the fact that it is a perfectly normal housing estate, such as you would find in many cities in England. It is well laid out, as you can see, and the housing potentially is extremely good. Unfortunately, during the recent emergency, there has been a lot of disorder in the estate. It is a very strong Republican area, and the provisional IRA are currently very active in it indeed. Two small barricades of burning vehicles that people have dragged across the road. It is in fact typical of the reaction that occurred after last Sunday's incident in Derry, when in fact in my area over 20 barricades were built. We have now in fact cleared them, and I think that is probably one of the last ones in the city, and will almost certainly be cleared later this afternoon or this evening. We have in the last 2 months had something over 200 separate shooting incidents which have involved something over 400 rounds being fired at us. The police station is coming up here absolutely at the apex of the junction. You will see that it has got chain link fence around it. It has already been attacked with a 3.5-inch rocket launcher, which I'm happy to say failed to explode. The big white roof building is the bus station, which also acts as a focus of attention in the area are looking for trouble.
It's a bizarre experience to realize that from this British garden suburb, one may confidently expect bursts of Thompson submachine gun fire. The troops patrol here mostly in armoured vehicles. It's a housing estate which was taken over by Catholic squatters from some of Belfast's worst slums.
As we travel along here, we can see the smoke rising from these houses on what looks like an ordinary housing estate. How many times have you been fired at, would you say, from houses on this estate now?
In the last 2.5 months, I'd say we've been fired at probably 30 or 40 times on this particular estate.
And how often do you fire back under those circumstances at houses to which fire?
We fire back whenever we can get a reasonable target, and that means to say that the government we're firing at is not in such a position that if we fire at him, we're going to hurt somebody else, particularly the people who live on the estate, women and children. And this is sometimes very, very difficult. That's on our right at the top. We run down the hill. There we go. We've got
stones hitting the
local sport around here.
And invariably, as you come down here, you get stoned, do you? Almost invariably?
Yes, particularly while the school children are out during the school holidays. There's not so much we can do about it. Particularly the school leavers. It's this young hooligan element that the IRA tends to draw on. They don't have much responsibility, and it's a very good recruiting ground for them.
In Anderson's time, the army is shooting out the future with the hard call of the IRA. And if and when the IRA is beaten here, the Battle of Belfast, in military terms, would be won.
Well, we do now face a new dimension in the troubles in Northern Ireland. And this, of course, does present new problems.
Well, how serious do you think they're going to be if you are faced with a new phase of mass civil rights protest?
Well, of course, it's difficult to estimate at this stage what level it will reach. But, of course, we've got to remember that one of the aims of insurgents in situations like this is to make the most of any grievances which there may be in the area. And this is typical of all insurgency campaigns.
But do you detect very much of that in the civil rights marches that you've seen so far?
I certainly detect backing from elsewhere, without any doubt at all.
But what would be the position, do you feel, for the security forces in Northern Ireland if you had a genuine, non-violent, mass movement of protest rejecting the authority of the government that you're here to support?
But, of course, this would be mainly a matter for the police. I mean, we, in aid of the civil power, only deal with the sort of problems which is beyond their power to do so. And this sort of thing can be dealt with by the police, as it would be anywhere else.
But then the police are party to the dispute as far as the civil rights demonstrators are concerned. They're part of a storm on government that they apparently reject.
Well, they may reject it, but we want to remember that the police, in fact, are enforcing the law, and it is the law of the land, and that's what we're all doing.
But in terms of order, you're there to reinforce the police authority when they can no longer control the law and order situation. Who will define order for you if, again, I put it to you, you're faced with mass civil rights marches developing and increasing all over the country?
Well, it's not ready for us to define that at all. I mean, we are here to maintain that the present law, and this we will do, and when it's necessary for us to back up the police, we will do so.
But would you agree that if that does happen, it's going to make things very, very much more difficult for you here than they have been in the past?
It certainly increases the difficulties of our task.